Grandpa, wake up! Wake up, Grandpa!
What's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, it's you, Jackie.
You were asleep, Grandpa.
Asleep? Not me, laddie.
It's that big book you were reading. It sent you to sleep.
I was just sitting here remembering.
Oh, what were you remembering?
Oh, nothing you need worry about yet.
Was it something in this big book, Grandpa?
This old album? Well, yes, it was.
Well, can I look? Oh, was it this picture, Grandpa?
Sort of, yes.
Oh, was it that picture, Grandpa? Oh, what's that big cross?
That's what old soldiers remember as VC Corner in Fromelles, France.
What's VC Corner, Grandpa? Oh, I know corner, but what's VC mean?
It means a great deal, laddie. A great deal. It means that the man who has won a VC is a man above other men.
Citation. Presenting authentic stories of heroism and gallantry taken from the histories of war. The Victoria Cross, the highest recognition of valor our sovereign can bestow.
I'm going to sit on your knee. I want to know why you were remembering about this VC corner in the picture.
I was remembering many of my friends who rest there. I was with them once.
Was it long ago?
Long before you were born, laddie. Way back in 1916. There was a great battle.
With guns?
Hundreds and hundreds of guns. Big guns. The noise was like...
On the morning of July 19, 1916, after a preliminary bombardment, the 5th Australian Division and 61st South Midland Division went into the attack at Fromelles. In the great battle that night, the Australian Division lost 5,000 men. It was the first serious engagement of the Australian forces in France, and was to end, for many, in the war cemetery at Fromelles. It was decided not to mark the individual graves, but to dedicate one corner of that cemetery in honor of 1,298 Australian soldiers who fell in that first major engagement and whose graves were not known. Today, that corner of the war cemetery at Fromelles is remembered as VC Corner.
That was sad. What does VC mean?
It was named after a great lady, our queen, for whom men fought many years ago. See? Look here.
Huh?
See this picture?
Oh, they're old.
More than 100 years old now, lady.
100? Gee, were they still having wars then?
Yes, they were. And the Queen decided to issue a medal to honor acts of outstanding bravery by all ranks. You understand me?
Oh, sure. Gee, they must have liked that.
Now, strangely enough, many of the soldiers didn't like this new award for bravery. Some of the generals, the brass as they were called, said the award was unnecessary. They said that every soldier should be satisfied with the honor of serving his queen and country.
Queen Victoria presented the first Victoria Crosses in Hyde Park, London in 1857. One by one, 62 heroes of the British Navy and Army who had fought in the Crimea War came up to receive from their sovereign the Bronze Cross that was to become the most valued of all the world's awards for courage in battle. Before that time, only 2 decorations could be won for bravery, and these were often wrongly awarded for long service and meritorious conduct. Now there was this award for a signal act of valor or devotion, and the men who won it were entitled to a pension of £10 a year and £5 for each bar.
The Queen was was good to think of making that medal, wasn't she?
Yes, particularly in the face of her senior military advisers. Some say she first got the idea from a newspaper correspondent who reported the Crimea War.
Did he tell her what to write on it?
No, she decided herself to write just 2 words on it. Just 2 words. For valor.
Oh. And what did they make it from, Grandpa?
Oh, they made it from the bronze of melted-down Russian cannon captured in the Crimea. And no shortage of that even yet, laddie.
Did it cost the Queen much to make?
Not much. A couple of pounds, that's all. But sometimes a Victoria Cross has been sold. About £200 was offered for one in an auction room in England not so long ago.
Gee, was the man hungry? Did he need the money?
You could be right at that. The pension given with it was never very much. Sir Winston Churchill once said it would be difficult to assess in cash just what the bravery of Victoria Cross winner was worth.
Oh, I know Sir Winston Churchill. He was in England. He was always making a V sign, wasn't he?
Yes, laddie, that was his V for victory. He was a brave man, too.
Did he win the Victoria Cross, too?
Oh, let's say he was never awarded it, laddie. There were times when it couldn't be awarded to every brave man.
One clause in the original warrant, which still exists, but which has been rarely invoked, permits units which all have shown great bravery to select men by secret ballot and recommend them for the award. There have been 11 instances involving 33 officers and men in which Victoria Cross winners were chosen by their comrades. Of these, 19 were awarded for gallantry at Lucknow in the Indian Mutiny. In all, the VC has been awarded to 1,344 individuals. It has been won by an American in the Canadian Army, a Russian-born Canadian soldier, a German at Balaclava, and 2 Danes who served in the British Army. 87 Australians won the VC, 5 during the Boer War, 63 in World War I, and 19 during World War II. 290 winners of all nationalities died of their wounds. The Victoria Cross has been won by father and son on 3 occasions. It has been won by 4 pairs of brothers. It was once won by a son on his father's recommendation. British Lieutenant H.M. Havelock begged his father, Major General Sir Henry Havelock, not to put his name forward for the award. The general yielded to the plea and then decided that in fairness his son's name ought to be submitted. In the history of the award, only 3 men have won the Victoria Cross twice. Of those, a New Zealander, Captain C.H. Upham, who won his VC and bar in the Middle East in the early stages of World War II, is still alive.
I'm kind of glad that Daddy didn't win a VC. I'd rather have him here with me.
Yes, so would many other loved ones. But you must remember that the courage and sacrifice of those men helped keep our country free. So you can laugh and play.
Grandpa, didn't any ladies win the VC?
Oh, well, now, offhand, I just can't remember. And not that they didn't deserve it, mind you. Even the ones who stayed at home, keeping the home fires burning, as we used to say. No, just offhand, I can't recall whether any ladies actually were awarded.
Women first became eligible for the Victoria Cross in 1920, but no woman has ever won the cross, although there was an occasion in 1869 when a Mrs. Weber D. Harris was presented with a gold facsimile of the Victoria Cross by the officers of the 104th Bengal Fusiliers for her courage during a cholera epidemic. Queen Victoria sanctioned the facsimile, which is now in the Royal United Service Institution in England.
You're looking sad now, Grandpa.
Am I? Oh, nothing to be sad about, lad. When you talk about the Victoria Cross, you can be proud that you fought with men like these.
Gee, I would be. Were they big men, Grandpa?
Not necessarily. Only in heart, laddie. Big as a lion in heart and courage. Look here at some of the pictures in this book.
All right.
Look at this one.
Oh, Oh, he's big.
Yes, that's Lieutenant Cutler, V.C. He was a tall man, won his in Syria. There's all kinds of men, all shapes and sizes won the V.C.
Rich men?
Oh, rich men, poor men, beggar men.
Oh, gee, Grandpa. I wish I could see some of them, really. You know, see them walking about.
Well, there's a saying people have about old soldiers, Letty. They say they don't die, they simply fade away. And most of the men who are still with us are modest men. They're shy men.
Gee.
Look, one day I'll take you down to a soldiers' club near here. It's named after a Victoria Cross winner. You can see his picture there, and his name carved on the wall. And very often the soldiers sitting there think of him and remember him and promise themselves that one day they'll be as brave as him. All over Australia there are clubs and streets and other places named after Victoria Cross winners so that people will remember.
I'll never forget. Never.
No. Well, off you go out into the sun again and play with your little friends.
Would those VC men like that?
That's what they fought for, laddie. So little fellas like you can play in the sun. Away you go.
What about you?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'll sit here a while, remembering. But you run along, and then think of this. Once upon a time, all those brave men were little fellas like you.
Citation. These stories are authentic. The program is produced at AWA by Donald Crosby for Army Public Relations.